Okay guys, so we are going to be doing the other half of this glam eye look using Anastasia Beverly Hills in Prism palette, and I did start off using the color Lure in my crease. It's very mauvey purpley shade. It's really pretty. It's great as a transition shade. I am doing another look using this palette. Tomorrow it will be on my channel. I also then went in with Parallel to darken up that crease and to create some depth on my lower lid. Lower lash line? Lower lid? My lower lash line. I'm also going to go in and just kind of make that a little bit darker so you have some definition, and go in right in the corner of the outer V to start darkening that up as well. So it is going to be bright in the center and dark on the outside. So just take that Sigma E40 blending brush, blend, blend, blend until your fingers fall off. And I'm still going in with that color Parallel, occasionally mixing it with Lure to create the desired shade. Next, I'm going to take a flat brush and spray it with some setting spray and dip it into Pyramid to kind of get that cream eyeshadow effect. It's a beautiful gold. It has quite a few tones in there, and that's going to be the inner corner of my eye and the lower lash line as well. So I just wet that and used it a little bit damp, and it was super bright and beautiful, and I'm really obsessed with this palette. I went in a little bit more with the color Lure on the outside just to kind of blend those two shades together so we didn't have a harsh line where the gold stopped. I'm going in with NYX Epic Ink Liner in black to create my winged eye. And I just drag it out in the corner and drag it into the center of my eye and connect the lines to create an even wing. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and do fake lashes. These are BH Cosmetics M303 lashes. They're really thick and beautiful, but they're still slightly winged, so you still can get that cat eye effect. And then I added some mascara, and the eyes are done. So what else are we going to do? Something with our mouth. I am going to go ahead and put some concealer on my lips to make those the same color as my skin so that I have a clean base to work with. I'm going to go in with some liquid latex on that sponge, and I'm just going to spread that out, and I'm going to take little ripped up pieces of cotton and start sticking them on the latex so that we can pull them out to create a ripped mouth effect. So this gets kind of tricky. When you're sticking the cotton down, make sure you have really thin little pieces. I went in too heavy on the first time. Do really thin, thinner than you think you'll need. Stick them on that latex. And then my advice is to not use the sponge, because when I pressed the sponge against that latex, it just pulled all the cotton off. So I recommend going in with your finger with some latex. So this does get a little bit messy, but you're able to coat that cotton in latex a lot easier if you use your finger than if you go in with a sponge. So like I said, it just pulled all the cotton up and I had to start over. So kind of break those and tear those into little strips so it looks like gross strings hanging in front of your mouth. And make sure they are covered in latex so you can kind of pull and stretch those out. And you're going to want to work kind of quickly because they will dry and kind of ball up at the end, so you want to make sure you're working fast so they dry stringy rather than thick and clumpy. Some of mine are kind of clumpy, so I have to fix those at the end, but you can avoid that. Learn from my mistakes. So then I went in just a little bit over top of the edges to kind of smooth those edges out with a little bit more latex, and I went in just on the top and sides there. I have a really nice mustache. It looks really awesome, I know. And then also learn from my mistakes. Do your red mouth first before you put the latex on, because it was kind of a nightmare trying to pull those little latex strings back down. So do the red mouth first and then do your latex so that you aren't going back in and drawing in your mouth. And then, yeah, there I struggle. Just watch me struggle. That's fun. Now I'm going to go in and do the bottom part of my mouth, and I'm just going to coat that bottom part of my chin and the sides in latex. So you want to kind of sketch out how you want your mouth to be. If you want it to be super wide, now's the time to make the corners really wide. If you want it to be kind of shorter, you can do that too. Decide what shape you're going for, and then outline it with that liquid latex and repeat the same process that we did before with the sticking the cotton on and then covering it with latex and then pulling the strings upward to cross over the red area of your mouth so that you can still see the red underneath, but it looks like the skin is being pulled away from the mouth. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of the frame here. I'm still trying to figure out where my head stops and starts in my camera frame. I'll get it one of these days. And dance while you're at it. And like I said, go back over that with the latex so that you can mold those cotton pieces and they will dry down a little bit more flesh colored, although if I were to do this again, I would get a latex that doesn't dry white and dries more neutral colored. I just didn't have one on hand, so it is a little bit harder to cover up later on if it's white. Now you can see I'm taking a pair of scissors and cutting into my skin there so that I can create more holes in the mouth. It dried down a little bit flat on the edges, so I went in with those scissors and cut spaces out so that I can fill that in with red paint. So I have a little bit more of those strings. I'm just kind of taking those scissors, tearing them out, and then filling in the holes and bringing the mouth up and down on either side so that you have more space and it looks like there's more holes and tears in the latex. So I'm just using Ben Nye Bloody Red cream paint to fill that mouth in. And like I said, I'm extending it a little bit because I didn't feel like my holes went down quite far enough, so I'm just extending that with the paint. You won't be able to really tell because the paint will be the same color as your mouth. Now I'm going in with a little bit of foundation to try and match this to my skin. And I'm using a stipple brush with a little bit of a darker shadow to kind of cover up that white and try to match it to my skin there. Well, it didn't really work out quite like I wanted it to, but I think it ended up okay. So I would either use a natural color latex or I don't know what else you could do. This, I guess. And then I'm going to go in with the Cover FX translucent powder and just powder my whole face so that I'm not shiny, and it kind of blends that bottom part of my chin in with the rest of my face. And how does that look? So bright. Check it out. Check out yourself in the mirror. Throw a wink. I'm now going in with a darker color. It's a dark brown mixed with red to enhance the holes in my mouth and give it a little bit more depth. I felt like it was a little bit too flat with that red, so I'm in with the darker color to make it appear like it's really a hole and not my lip there. We're going to finish the glam with some bronzer, and that's Makeup Geek in Sunkissed. It's my favorite bronzer for fair skin. It looks really nice, doesn't look orange or anything like that. Obviously, I was going for a beautiful look with this makeup look, so definitely something I would wear on a date or my wedding. Then I'm going in with some Sigma blush. I don't remember what the color is. I'll leave it below, but it's my favorite. And using that fan brush, I'm going in with the Makeup Geek highlighter in Luster on the tops of my cheeks. You could probably wear this look to a gala too. Just something real fancy. Moving on back to our lovely mouth there, we are going to be putting in the fake blood. Thought it would be more realistic if I was actually bleeding. Don't mind my mistake there. And so I took some Ben Nye fake blood, drenched a paintbrush with it, and kind of painted in the little holes until it was as drippy and disgusting as I wanted it to be. Don't worry guys, all mistakes can be fixed. There you go, all gone. And basically just fill that in with as much blood as you want. You can also make it even more drippy so that it drips down your chin. I went back for the ending pictures and added some more blood that was actually dripping down my face because I felt like that looked cooler. So there you go guys, that's how you do this look. Enjoy.